Hey Slayers, I'm the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, Sega Slayer 64, and you're probably reading the title of this video, and you're probably like, well, Sega Slayer, what the heck are you talking about? Your generation was the last good generation for gaming? And yeah, and when I say that, I'll explain to you what I mean, okay? So I, was chilling, and I had this idea, you know what I'm saying? And what do I mean by this? And I was just taking a look at, I was actually playing a game called Need for Speed Heat, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna guess some of you know what that is. I'm not gonna say all of you know what it is, but some of you probably definitely know what that is. And essentially, it's a racing game, but it's made by EA. And while I was sitting there playing that, I had a couple ideas, thinking about a few things, right? And one of the things I thought about is my generation of gamers, like people who grew up, because okay, just for reference, I'm 18, right? So people who grew up in like during the 7th generation is what I mean. And what do I mean by, well, what I'm saying is essentially we're the last good generation for gaming, right? And I'm not saying this to be like offensive or anything, saying okay that the new generations, or the new generations coming up won't have good games. That's not true at all. But what I mean is, we were the last innovative generation. At least that's what I feel, in my opinion. And I'm not going to say, like, there's not any innovative games today, because there are. You know what I'm saying? There are some innovative games out there, you know what I'm saying? And there is some innovative technology out there. But the 7th generation was really the last game-changer generation. I mean, we gotta, like, if you look at it, right, the 7th generation was the generation where we essentially started, and we essentially got to get the last good generation, along with seeing the beginning of the more, modern gaming generations, I guess you could say. Like, generations just aren't as exciting as they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Even going from, like, the 7th generation, okay, let me compare something to you. Going from the 5th generation to the 7th generation, besides obviously the Wii, the graphics jump was huge, okay? It was huge. We went from having games like freaking, I'm trying to think of a good one. We went from having games like the original Forza on Xbox to having games like Forza Horizon, GTA 5, GTA 4 and 5, Sonic Unleashed, you know what I'm saying? From the game I'm playing now, Heroes, in the 5th generation, to having games like Sonic Unleashed and games like Sonic Colors, and I'm dead. Having games like Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors, you know what I'm saying? And then going from the 7th generation, I'm going from the 7th generation to the 8th, it wasn't as important as it was, you know what I'm saying, going from the 5th to the 6th, at least going from the 6th to the 7th, at least in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, going from the 5th generation, you know what I'm saying, everybody was doing something big, you know what I'm saying? Microsoft was getting ready to release their 2nd console, Sony was getting ready to release their 3rd console, you know what I'm saying? Everything was new and innovative. Online gaming, while it was present in the 6th generation, while it was present in the 6th generation, it wasn't nearly as influential as it was about to become in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying? And during the 7th generation, games nowadays, this is just a personal belief, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to agree, you don't have to disagree, but games today, they're all similar, okay? Every game is like every other game. Let me just give you an example, right? Watch Dogs is basically just GTA. And we had games like that in the past, you know what I'm saying? Like how Saints Row was essentially just GTA again, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, during the early years, they put their own spin on it, right, to really make a difference. And yeah, Watch Dogs has, the whole hacking thing, but I mean, let's just be honest here, it just feels just like a GTA, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing too crazy that changes the gameplay up, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you look at the first Watch Dogs. The later ones do try a little bit harder, but the first games are literally just GTA copy and pasted, you know what I'm saying? But like, and that's just like, okay, look at a game like Forza Horizon 4, The Crew 2, and Need for Speed Heat. They don't feel exactly the same, like literally, there's no difference to them at all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just true. All the Call of Duties are essentially the same game every year, which, I mean, they were back then, but the difference back then was they put a little bit more effort into them than they do now. Like, let's be honest here. Besides obviously besides the Modern Warfare reboot, Call of Duty Cold War is literally just 99% Call of Duty Black Ops 4 again, and you know what I'm saying? And I don't understand. It's like, okay, no, let me go back to what I was saying about innovation, okay? We had 3 consoles in the 7th generation, right? Oh, and don't actually, hold on, yeah, I'll save this for later. We have 3 consoles in the 7th generation, and this ain't including handhelds yet. The 3 consoles on the market is the Wii, 360, PS3, okay? All 3 different consoles that did 3 different things, you know what I'm saying? They were all 3 different consoles, and they all did their own things differently. Some did them better than others, you know what I'm saying? The point is, you had 3 options to choose from, and you still do down today. But the difference is, each one of those consoles did something better than the other, you know what I'm saying? You could say the PS3, right? You could say the Xbox 360 was the king of online play, right? The PS3 was the best entertainment console you could get on the market, especially because you had so many good games. Oh my god, I really cannot beat this boss. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch the game because I cannot beat this guy. I just cannot beat this guy. But yeah, as I was saying, you had 3 different games on 3 different consoles on the market that did 3 different things. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, you look at, and I'm gonna talk about these 2 separately. So first, we're gonna look at the 360 and PS3. Then we'll move over to the Wii. You know what I'm saying? Because they all did something different. But, like, let's just say, right, the 7th generation truly was the last generation of game innovation. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's not to say, again, that innovation won't come along, right? Not just game innovation, but console innovation, too. And that's not to say, like, game innovation as a whole won't change, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at the stuff VR is doing right now, you know what I'm saying? That's a complete game changer, but we're not on that topic right now, okay? We're not on that topic. VR is a complete game changer right now, but the stuff we had in the 7th generation was just mind-blowing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna name a few games, right, that really, like, left an impression in the 7th generation. Like, in the 8th generation, there's a few, but I really cannot think of anything that did anything completely different that wasn't done already in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying? Something that said, hey, we're the 8th generation and we're going to be remembered for different reasons than the 7th generation was. Like, and this is just being honest with you. I'm just being 100% honest with you, right? Let's just think of some games, right? Red Dead Redemption 1, okay? The first Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4 and 5, okay? Classic titles, and I'm counting GTA as a 7th generation title since it came out before the 8th generation consoles was already out. So, you know what I'm saying? So, we had GTA 5, all the Saints Row games, you know what I'm saying? So, different Sonic games that came out, Mario Galaxy, you know what I'm saying? Mario Galaxy 2, you know what I'm saying? These games that really, like, left a huge impression. Call of Duty, the first Call of Duty Black Ops, you know what I'm saying? Games that literally changed the market for the better. And we just don't have that anymore. And that's, again, that's not to say that gaming as a whole now could never go back to what it used to be, or that it isn't what it used to be. It's just saying that, you know, we had these super cool, innovative, and fun ideas, and now I feel like companies just play it a little too safe. You know what I'm saying? And this is just being 100% honest with you. They play it a little too safe nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really out there trying to do anything wacky or interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like they not to say they don't do anything interesting, but more to say like it's just the same old now. Like literally, they tease new games every year, right? They tease new games every year for, you know, whatever purposes and reasons. But like, let's be honest here. All these games, we're basically playing the same game wherever you go. Like, remember when I named the Crew, Need for Speed, and Forza Horizon? Like I said, they're basically the same game. Like, sure, you can say they have different maps, so that makes them different. They play exactly the same. And not to mention, this is a true fact. They have 99% of the same cars in them. Not to say, you know, that, hey, they gotta have different cars. They don't have to have different cars, but just the execution is just basically the same. Plus the maps kind of do look similar, if you want to be honest, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of sad that companies are too scared to take the risk nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Even if we're just talking about Sega themselves, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're the main focus of this channel. Even they themselves are afraid to take risk anymore. The 7th generation was the last generation where Sega truly took risk, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Look at it, now every year all we get is a new a new Yakuza and a new Sonic game every now and then. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting all these different weird random games that Sega, you know, weren't afraid to put their name on in the 7th generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest here. Let me name some more stuff that was just super big in the 7th generation. You know what I'm saying? Take stuff like 7th generation Disney Infinity and Skylanders. Who had thought of that? You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna see anything like that again. Take the Kinect. That was something completely, I'm not gonna say original because Sega did that first, you know, Sega Activator and all, but still, it was still something cool that, you know, we've never really seen before, you know what I'm saying? Because the mass market really didn't know about the Sega Activator, but it was completely something different that you've never seen before, you know what I'm saying? And now on to the main part of this, especially the Wii. The Wii was something completely different, you know what I'm saying? Since there was never a console, you know, that started a revolution. The Wii started a freaking revolution, you know what I'm saying? It started a freaking revolution, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had to have motion controls. The Wii had motion controls, you gotta have motion controls. If you don't have motion controls, you're useless, you know what I'm saying? Your console's useless. You don't need to be doing anymore. Who wants to buy your console? It doesn't have motion controls like the Wii. And also, the Wii was the console that truly, and this is just the truth right here, you can't deny this. The Wii was the console that truly introduced the casual market to gaming as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Because before that, you know, the people who look down on gamers as just like losers who probably just sit there and play games in their mom's basement all day, you know what I'm saying? But now, with things like the Wii, the casual market was in on gaming, you know what I'm saying? It was the new hot fad. Everybody wanted to, you know, be a part of this new gaming fad because, you know, it was something new and no one had seen it before, you know what I'm saying? So they had to, So they had to get, you know, in on the Wii fad because, well, again, it was something new. Everyone wanted to try it, and the Wii sold like hotcakes, you know what I'm saying? And the Wii itself, even Nintendo themselves, like, let's be honest here, Super Mario Odyssey, I mean, Nintendo's kind of just releasing all the games they released on the Wii U at the moment, you know what I'm saying? It's New Horizons is just a new leaf again, basically. Like, let's be honest here, I missed the period when every game was different, you know what I'm saying? Every game was something new and outrageous. Even take licensing games, you know what I'm saying? They're not even the same what they used to be, you know what I'm saying? The time where people would make a game off any movie or TV show didn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Even shovelware isn't shovelware anymore, and I hate these levels. Even shovelware isn't shovelware anymore, you know what I'm saying? Now, most bad games are just games like any other game, just with some bad mechanics to them, you know what I'm saying? You don't really see too much shovelware anymore because, well, we don't really have a console to make shovelware on. I mean, the Switch, you know what I'm saying? And also, another thing the 7th generation did was finally not only introduced casuals to gaming, but introduced gamers to indie games, you know what I'm saying? Not too many indie games were played back in the day, and like for the original Xbox or PS2, you know what I'm saying? There weren't any really indie developers out there, you know what I'm saying? The 7th generation introduced, you know, indie games to the world. Like, I can think of a few big ones right now. Cave Story, Octodad, what's a couple more I can think of? I'm trying to think of some more, you know what I'm saying? But still, you're understanding. Meat Boy, Super Meat Boy, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that introduced the world to something completely new, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, indie games are here now, you know what I'm saying? But they're just indie games, and I don't know why my controller cut off. That was stupid. Yeah, indie games now are just, you know, indie games, but at that time, you know, indie games was a whole new world to be explored, a whole new land. Not to mention, right, the 7th generation was the only generation where I'd say was the last generation where I could say gamers, no matter what you played on, were truly equal, you know what I'm saying? Because we were all having fun, you know what I'm saying? No matter if you were on the 360 or the Wii, the PlayStation 3, you know what I'm saying? We all, even PC, we were all pretty much all in the same league, you know what I'm saying? The consoles, now PCs are so far ahead, it looks like consoles will never catch up, and consoles nowadays all look the same. It's like every console was on par with each other, but they all had their own ways of being different. You know what I'm saying? Now the PS5 and Series X are essentially the same console with two different controllers, and that's really how I judge what console I'll buy, is by the controller. And since I hate Sony's controller, it's always going to be Microsoft. But now the consoles are all basically the same exact console with different controllers. You know what I'm saying? Sure, you can say Sega Slayer, the exclusives nowadays are weak. You know what I'm saying? At least in my opinion, they're nowhere near what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? And I might sound like an old man. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, it's fine. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying, about sounding like an old man. But it's like, okay, now every game, now the current trend is, okay, we need to be a battle royale. If we're not a battle royale, we're not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I miss the days when every game was something different. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this game right here is a fighting game. This game right here, third-person shooter. This game right here, first-person shooter. You know what I'm saying? We got so many legendary titles that, you know, just really is hard to replicate. Or now they're all overdone. You know what I'm saying? Going from like the 5th generation to the 7th generation. And can I get a bubble, please? I'm dead. Like, going from the 5th generation to the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying? We were introduced to so many different genres that we never, you know, knew we needed before that we need now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest here. Red Dead Redemption 2 is just Red Dead Redemption 1. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and now companies have this mentality. It's like, okay, why change it if we already know it works? You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't sound, that's not as cool. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Eventually, I don't understand. Eventually, you're gonna get tired of the same thing every day. It's like if you eat the same meal every day. After like the second or third day, it starts to get tiring. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. You know what I'm saying? Playing it safe always benefits. You know what I'm saying? In some way, some form, because, you know, you're not taking a risk on something that could potentially not work. But when people were taking risks in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, it really did work. You know what I'm saying? It worked really well. Nowadays, you know what I'm saying, no risk doesn't, you know, with no risk, you're just playing it safe. You know your game's gonna do okay. You know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, another thing that we've lost, you know what I'm saying, the 7th generation was truly the last generation for mascots. You know what I'm saying? Now, no one really either cares about their mascots or doesn't have mascots, you know what I'm saying? Like, take Ubisoft. They haven't made a Rayman game in so long, and you know why? Because they're too busy focused on Rainbow Six Sieges, or releasing the same old, I'm trying to think of what game, releasing the same old Ghost Recon game every few years. You know what I'm saying? It's the same game every single time, and I don't understand. Yeah, they slap a new story on there, but let's be honest here. It's the same game over and over again, and over again, and it starts to get annoying. Not to mention, let's talk about one more other thing. You know what I'm saying? Handheld gaming. Okay, there was a time where, okay, if you couldn't afford a big console in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying, you could get yourself a PSP, and you would be pretty much on par with the Wii. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, a lot of the times the PSP versions of games got the same version as like the Wii version of it. You know what I'm saying? Which was really cool. Nowadays, there really isn't any handheld consoles. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone has phones in their pockets, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, dude, I don't know about you, but I miss being able to go anywhere I wanted to and pull out a pretty much console experience out of my pocket, you know what I'm saying, with something that had actual controls and not just janky old touchscreen controls, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, okay, like I said, in the 7th generation with the PSP, you know what I'm saying, half of the games on there were on par with their console versions and were pretty much either the same version or very similar to the console version. I'm straight up dead, man. I'm straight up dead. This is stupid. Grab that life. No, that was stupid. I'm dead. No, it was right there. Now, there was a time when the PSP version was pretty much on par with the console version of the game, and I'm leaving this. I can't move. Why? There was pretty much a time where the PSP version of the game was straight up on par with like the Wii version of the game. Now, so we just have crappy mobile games that aren't anything. Like, straight up trash. Like, let's be honest here. These mobile games are straight up garbage. They're nowhere near the things, the quality. Like, you actually got quality control now. Back in the day, now mobile gamers are kind of just left in the dust. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a few things, but like, Let's be honest here. And yeah, mobile phones are, advancing, but I don't know about you. Most people love physical controls more than touchscreen controls. I know I do. It's harder to play games with touchscreen controls, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's cool to have a supercomputer in your pocket, but at the same time, I'd much rather have a DS or PSP in my pocket. And that might just be me saying that, you know what I'm saying? Some people might not feel that way, and that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But there's just the 7th generation just had this to it, you know what I'm saying? Whereas you look back on it with nostalgia. Now people look at the 8th generation and okay, be honest with me here. There's not really a sizable gap between the Series X and the Xbox One X. Really, they're essentially the same console again. Okay, the PS5, PS4, really no big difference. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference, but it's really no big difference. And you even can see that through the games. You know what I'm saying? Why are games still coming out for us? Just there really isn't a big difference, you know what I'm saying? And now, PCs, right, they've got so far ahead that consoles will probably never catch up again, you know what I'm saying? The 7th generation was the last generation where, okay, consoles were on par. They could compete with PCs, you know what I'm saying? And also, not to mention, everybody had some type of big exclusive you needed to own that console for it. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's okay, you could just get one console and you'll be pretty much good throughout the whole generation, you know what I'm saying? It's I don't want a PS4 now, you know what I'm saying? I don't want one. I have an Xbox and I have a PC. I don't need a PS4, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted a PS3. I wanted a Wii, you know what I'm saying? Because they all had something different that the other one didn't have, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, and then again, they all had different experiences. Some games would be played better on one thing, other games would play better on another thing, and some of you can argue, okay, that's not good, you know what I'm saying? If you want consistency you want to buy a game and you want to have that good feeling that, it'll play right on your console, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? That is justified, you know what I'm saying? But then again, now we have another thing where, okay, the 7th generation was really the last generation that didn't have to deal with things like timed exclusives or something like that, because now that games are so mainstream, it's so easy for a game to lose its player base just because it didn't come to another console. You know what I'm saying? Take what's that one game called? Wait, I haven't heard the name in so long. It's ancient by this point. Fall Guys. Yeah, that was the name, right? I think that was the name. Or was it Among Us 2.0? I don't know. And yeah, I'm obviously being sarcastic here. But in reality, you know what I'm saying? The game was left on what? PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? Xbox users didn't get to have it. You know what I'm saying? So now, see, and the thing is, right? The thing is, during the 7th generation, the gap was equal, you know what I'm saying, between almost all consoles. So it was more profitable to sell your game on each console than to just sell it on one console, you know what I'm saying? And now we don't have that anymore, you know what I'm saying? Because now people want to, and that's not to say that hasn't happened before. Take the PlayStation 2 era, you know what I'm saying? Or take the I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the PlayStation 1, you know what I'm saying? It was more profitable to make a game for just the PlayStation 1 than to make it for the N64 and PlayStation 1 or Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1, but companies still did it, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's more profitable for them to do these time exclusive, and that kind of sucks because it leaves a whole camp in the dark, you know what I'm saying? Now, there are some things that we did get here in the 8th generation / 7th generation that is better, okay? And that's being 100% honest, and one of those things is crossplay. You know what I'm saying? We all wish we had crossplay back in the day, because that is one downside, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you had a 360, your friend had a PlayStation 3, your other friend had a Wii, you couldn't all play with each other, you know what I'm saying? You were stuck on your own ecosystems, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, is that better? I don't know, man. You could argue, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's now, you're at a point where, okay, everybody has something different. And again, also another thing, right? The 7th generation was the generation to start the online generation, you know what I'm saying? To start it, really. Like I said, online games were around before, you know what I'm saying? They were around before. They're nothing new, okay? They're nothing new at all. They were in the 4th gen, dating all the way back to the 2nd generation, if you want to be honest with yourselves, you know what I'm saying? But the 7th generation was really the generation to nail it, and now online play is really so perfect and just so normal that Which, I mean, I guess we want a better online play experience, you know what I'm saying? You always want a better online play experience, but now it's just so normal that it's like, it's not special anymore when you log on to Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, you know what I'm saying? Or sit there and wait your 3 hours for your Nintendo Wii connection to load, you know what I'm saying? It's not special anymore, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, the complete absence of handheld consoles is just sad to me, you know what I'm saying? I personally loved it having handheld consoles, and you could say, well, seriously, you have the Switch is really just a phone. And really, that is actually what it is. It's literally just a phone, you know what I'm saying? With a custom OS, it's literally using a processor that's in multiple phones. Just period. Multiple phones that processor is in. It's just a phone. Like, literally. There's no consistency in it, you know what I'm saying? And the sad part is, companies, like I said, they just want to play it safe now, and that's really sad to me. I think you should go back to taking innovation, you know what I'm saying? Making the big games, you know what I'm saying? Like, what really, like, let's be honest here. Our generation, the 7th generation was the last generation to have the big games like Halo 3, Halo 4, again, Mario Galaxy, you know what I'm saying? Freaking, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, you know what I'm saying? All that, you know what I'm saying? Minecraft, it was really fun, which is still here, you know? It's now everybody just wants to make free-to-play battle royales, and that's kind of sad, because it's like, okay, now the paid games just become the same thing over and over again, because EA, you know what I'm saying? EA, or Epic, or whoever you want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? They'd rather just pump all their money into, you know, cheap free-to-play games where they could sell you some new skins instead of actually working on a brand new $60 game. So now you get $60 games and they're just like, you're like, dude, what? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's something we, again, started in the 7th generation, because there was a lot of free-to-play games. Another thing we've also started, another thing I really want to talk about, this was one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video, right? Our generation was the last generation truly for physical gamers, and that's just the truth. There's companies don't like physical games anymore, and personally, I'm pro physical, you know what I'm saying? If you're pro digital, you know, you're having a blast right now, but me being pro physical, you know what I'm saying? I hate the fact that, you know, and this is not to say, okay, we could say this right here, right? There was digital games in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying? There were digital games. You could buy your games digitally. Not really in the earlier parts of the 7th generation, but the later parts, you know, it was pretty common to buy your games digital or physical. And the thing was, companies still had the big focus on physical, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, the 7th generation was the last plug-and-play generation. I don't know about you, but I sure miss the days where games were actually on the disc what the heck? I sure miss the days when games were actually on the disc that I paid for. You know what I'm saying? Now I come home. Okay, how it used to work is, right? Another thing I'll get into is game stores, but I'll get into that in a second. But you go to the store, you get a new game. The first thing you do is run home, pop it in your 360, PS3, or Wii, and you're on the go. Or put it in your DS and your PSP, and you're on the go. No updates to download, which sometimes there were updates, but they weren't mandatory to play the game. The game was on the disc, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, you buy a game, right? You buy a game, and now you gotta wait 3 hours, sometimes 2 days. Literally, sometimes 2 days you gotta wait just to play your freaking game that you just spent $60 on, because that company wanted to be lazy and decided, you know what? Let's not put the game on the disc. Let's have you download a patch, because you should have got it digital, then you would have just had to download it in the first place, you know what I'm saying? It's like, companies don't really even bother making their game physical, and physical was the better option in my opinion anyway, because it's better for preservation, okay? Let's just talk about this. What happens one day, right? When I'm trying to think of an all-digital game, I'm trying to think of an all-digital game that's like literally only digital, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of them out there, but for some reason I can't think. Why can't I think of an all-digital game? Sonic Mania. Oh no, that eventually got a physical release. Right, yeah, that did get a physical release, but why can I not think of an all-digital game? Like, there's so many releases out there that are only digital. The point is, right, if a game that's only digital, right, gets taken off the store, guess what? It's gone, okay? it's gone. And I think the problem is I just don't buy too many like all digital games for it to be, you know, a process for me. I'd rather buy a physical copy of a game. But once the digital game is off the store, that store that it's on, it's gone. It's done. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing that game ever again because it's not on the store anymore. They took it off. You can't not buy it anymore. Denied, you know what I'm saying? In the 7th generation, if I bought an Xbox 360 game, as long as I took care of my disc, you know, I could play that game for years on end and never worry about a problem, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, I buy a game and I'm not sure if it's always going to be there the next day or not, you know what I'm saying? And even that's really sad. Plus, not to mention, now companies, you know, in the 7th generation, you know what I'm saying, almost everything could be also played offline. There were some online exclusive games, but almost everything also has some type of offline mode, you know what I'm saying? So, in the event the servers shut down, you know what I'm saying, it's over. It wasn't over, you know what I'm saying? You could still enjoy the game and go back and play the game all you wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Call of Duty Black Ops 1, for example. That game is still online, right? But if the servers ever shut down, I still can go ahead and play that, you know? Now games are putting freaking DCRM in their games, you know what I'm saying? And you freaking gotta deal with that. And if the servers ever shut down, you know what I'm saying, you can't play the game that you paid a good $60 for because they decided, you know what, these servers aren't worth it anymore. Let's go ahead and shut the game down. Not to mention, if these stores, you know what I'm saying, if the stores for any of these games that need these large patches, if the stores ever close, you know what I'm saying, or the servers ever go down, and you buy a disc version of a game, you still won't be able to use it. It's just a case in a disc. You know why? Because they shut the servers down for that store and you can't buy the game anymore. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a problem in the 7th generation. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a problem. And now I feel bad for the generations after, you know, the 9th generation, because it's almost guaranteed now that after the Series X and PS5 are gone, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's after them will not have disk drives. It's guaranteed. And another big thing about that I was actually wanted to talk about, 7th generation was the last time for game stores. Game stores are done, okay? But GameStop has maybe the rest of the 9th generation to go, and then what are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I miss in the 7th generation where I could go to GameStop and get like 4 pre-owned games for under $10, and they literally used to run sales like that, and it was so fun because you always had something to play. And I talked about this in my live stream, but you had these things called what did I call them? Trade. I forgot what I called them. Trade somethings, right? But you could keep them going for a while. You could go buy one $60 game in January, right? And you had 30 days to bring it back to get a new game. You know what I'm saying? And you could trade cycles or something, I call them. You had 30 days to bring it back and get a new game. You know what I'm saying? And you could do that at the very beginning of the year and keep new games for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? You could have something different to play all throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you know what I'm saying, with these stores starting to close, you know what I'm saying, now you don't really have a good place to get games anymore. And another big thing, right, even with physical games still being here, you got stores starting to close. Like, take Toys R Us, right? During the 7th generation, I used to get a lot of games from Toys R Us, and the reason was they had killer discounts, you know what I'm saying? They would run certain games for, like, it was even newer games, like, a game could have just came out and Toys R Us would have it on sale, like, a few weeks later, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you could get you some really good deals at Toys R Us, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you really, with you only being able to be stuck in the store, you're 9 times out of 10 is going to be stuck paying for full price for the games. And PC gamers might be like, yo, well, we're not really affected by this, you know, we always bought our games from Steam and stuff. You guys had physical games too, you know what I'm saying? And those physical games kept the games alive. If Steam ever decides to delist the game, it's gone. Take a good example right here, right? The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I want that game so bad. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? It isn't on any store. It's not on Steam. It's gone off of Steam. It's gone off of the Xbox store. You know what I'm saying? There are physical versions of the game, but the prices are extremely high. You know what I'm saying? It's gone. I don't have no way to get my hands on the game for PC unless I, you know, pirate it, or which, I mean, I don't really see a problem with pirating it because you can't get it anymore physically at all. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, people don't want to pirate stuff, you know what I'm saying? Another thing is you can't get And since you can't get that, you know what I'm saying, it's over. You don't really have any options. You can't go to your local game store and find it because they either don't have it or they just don't have it. Or they either don't have it or it's extremely high, you know what I'm saying? So you really have no other option, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I really have one last topic to talk about in this video because, you know, this video has been going on for too long, you know what I'm saying? The prices of consoles and stuff are getting extremely high. Like extremely high. Like I said, being a gamer back then, you could pretty much get an experience on par with a Wii for like $200, even sometimes cheaper if you got yourself a PSP. You were getting, because the PSP is just a PSP, you know what I'm saying? So you were getting a pretty much full-on console experience on the go. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you got the Switch now, you know what I'm saying? But let's be honest here, nothing will compare to an actual handheld console, you know what I'm saying? The Switch is a handheld console, but I just feel like Nintendo would rather have you play it in the TV mode, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, now it's a handheld, it's supposedly a handheld console, but like, I want a definitive handheld console. Like, let's be honest here, the Switch costs the same price as a new console, as an Xbox One costs right now, you know what I'm saying? Why would I buy the Switch when the Switch is essentially an Xbox 360, and that's actually true, when I could go ahead and buy an Xbox One X, by the way, for about the same price, if not cheaper, you know what I'm saying? And it ruins it, you know what I'm saying? It straight up ruins the magic, because now I can buy a more powerful console than the Switch ever could even match up to, you know what I'm saying? For cheaper, you know what I'm saying? The Switch Pro is coming out, and we'll have to see how that does. But like, if I can get an Xbox Series X, an Xbox Series S, by the way, not even just an X. You can get a Series S for $50 or more than you can get an Xbox, than you can get a Switch. Why would you buy a Switch in that debate? Like, why would you? You know what I'm saying? Handheld consoles used to matter because they had their own exclusive games, you know what I'm saying? And their own exclusive, like, their own, like, ports of different games, you know what I'm saying? And they had a place for people who just couldn't afford a console. Nowadays, consoles are getting more expensive and more like cheap at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So it defeats the purpose of even having handheld consoles. And like Nintendo's last handheld console, true handheld console, was the 3DS, you know what I'm saying? And let's be honest here, they're never gonna look at handheld consoles again. It's not viable anymore. And why? Because everyone has phones in their pockets. So that was the last generation for handheld gaming, you know what I'm saying? Where everyone had everyone needed to have a DS or a PSP. I don't think I'm supposed to go up here. Yep, no. Well, that's really the end of this video. I wanted to talk about this, you know what I'm saying, in more detail. Like, the 7th generation truly was the last generation of good gaming, you know what I'm saying? Because from now on, everyone's just gonna either play it safe, they're either just gonna play it safe, or they're gonna play it safe, or they're just not gonna try and innovate at all, you know what I'm saying? There's just no reason, and it's in their defense, you know what I'm saying? They have no reason. Why should I innovate if what I keep giving you is working, you know what I'm saying? If I keep giving you something and you keep buying it, why should I innovate? Because you don't really care, you know what I'm saying? And now people get mad if companies do try and innovate. It's like, what is this? I didn't ask for this. You put ketchup on my burger this time. Even though I only ever tried a plain burger. Why would I want ketchup on my burger? I've never even tried this before. I don't want this. This is terrible. Take it back, remake it, and this time make sure it's the same way I had it before, because that's the only way I like it, and that's the only way I will ever like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, come on, man. You gotta try new stuff at some point. You know what I'm saying? I could eat my words in a few years and something new and mind-blowing comes out and just destroys this whole video, but that was just something I felt like talking about. If you're new here, if you could subscribe, that'd be really awesome. We're trying to reach 300 subscribers and you'd be helping us out a lot. Make sure to share this video with your friends to become a Super Slayer. I've been the Old School Sega Enthusiast, Sega Slayer 64, and until next time, remember, the 7th generation was the last true gaming generation. Until next time, have a good one, Slayers.